A gun safety measure that's been debated across the country. It's in the minds of plenty of parents as the first week of school is now underway.
So what are the pros and cons of clear backpacks? Fox 5's Joe Veal has been digging into this and talking to parents. He has more details.
New school year is here, but there are still old worries about guns in schools.
I'm very worried, because there's a lot of violence, everywhere.
Because of the gun threat that they had last year here at the school.
4 guns were recovered in one day at CCSD schools last February, according to CCSD police. One of those guns was recovered by staff here at Escobedo Middle School and given to police after someone reported a student was in possession of a firearm. Escobedo was going to require clear backpacks, but then decided not to after parents were surveyed about them.
I actually did vote for the idea of clear backpacks just because of the gun threat that was going on last year.
The teachers and the staff can see what's in their backpacks for the kids.
One concern we heard from some, privacy issues. A couple parents allowed us to talk to their kids.
But it's just everyone keeps looking inside of it. And then, you see all this.
I think that it was a loss of privacy towards the students.
The student also says there is a loss of something else for many who bought clear backpacks thinking they would be required here.
It was a loss of money towards the parents because clear backpacks are average around $35.
But do clear backpacks prevent guns in schools? We've been checking and so far haven't seen any major studies indicating that, and we haven't heard of any big national safety groups advocating for clear backpacks as a proven way to stop school gun violence. Some have said items can still be hidden inside. Now, CCSD has said after consideration and consultation with principals, we have determined requiring clear backpacks is not feasible and does not definitively address safety concerns. Even so, other school districts around the country are requiring them, including some schools in Texas after the school shooting in Uvalde. Some school leaders say they are another tool to help battle what's been an ongoing problem. One Washington, D.C. area school is even giving out 10,000 clear backpacks for free. Joe Veal, Fox 5 News, Local, Las Vegas.